Good morning, students. In part 2 of chapter Agriculture, you learned about geographical conditions required for different food crops. And today you will learn about non-food crops. Geographical conditions required for non-food crops. The first non-food crop is rubber. Rubber is equatorial crop, mean it is grown in the area between the Tropic of Cancer and Tropic of Capricorn. But under special conditions, it is also grown in tropical and subtropical areas. Like this is equator, this is Tropic of Cancer, this is Tropic of Capricorn. Arctic Circle and Antarctic Circle. Rubber is grown in the equatorial zone, in this zone. But under special conditions, it is also grown in these parts, within the tropical as well as subtropical areas. It requires moist and humid climate. What type of climate is needed for it? Moist and humid, with rainfall of more than 200 centimeter. More than 200 centimeter. And the temperature required for it is 25 degrees Celsius. It is grown in loamy soil. It is grown in slope where there is no possibility of water stagnation. And the major producing areas are Kerala. Kerala is the largest producer of rubber in India. Kerala, Tamil Nadu, Karnataka, and Andaman Nicobar Islands, and Garo Hills of Meghalaya. Garo Hills of Meghalaya. Rubber is equatorial crop, means it is grown within equatorial zone, but under special conditions it is also grown in tropical as well as subtropical areas. Rainfall required for it is more than 200 centimeter. With temperature 25 degrees Celsius, it is grown in loamy soil, and the major producers are Kerala, Tamil Nadu, Karnataka, Andaman and Nicobar Islands, and Garo Hills of Meghalaya. After rubber, fiber crop. Main fiber crop in India is cotton. India is believed to be the original home of cotton. Cotton is one of the most important raw material for cotton textile industry. We know that clothes are made from cotton. And the climatic conditions required for it. Rainfall near about 50 to 80 centimeter. Temperature 21 degree to 27 degrees Celsius. And it is best grown in black soil. Black soil is fit for growing cotton. Along with black, it is also grown in alluvial soil. And the major cotton producing areas Maharashtra, Gujarat, Madhya Pradesh, Karnataka, Andhra Pradesh, Telangana, Tamil Nadu, Punjab, Haryana, Uttar Pradesh, all these are the cotton producing areas in India. Cotton plant require high temperature and high rainfall. 210 frost-free days means there should be no frost, and bright sunshine for its growth. Cotton plant needed high temperature, light rainfall, and 210 frost-free days with bright sunshine for its growth. After cotton, jute. Jute requires 150 centimeter rainfall. Jute plant needed more water for good growth. Temperature 30 degrees Celsius. It is grown in well-drained, fertile alluvial soil. Jute is also known as golden fiber, and the major jute producing states in India are West Bengal. West Bengal is the largest producer of jute in India. West Bengal, Bihar, Assam, Odisha. These are the jute producing states in India. Jute is very important. It is used for making gunny bags and other products like mats, ropes, yarn, carpets. Due to its high cost, it is losing market to synthetic fibers and packing material, particularly the nylon. The geographical conditions required for jute: rainfall 150 centimeter, temperature 30 degrees Celsius, needed well-drained alluvial soil for good growth, and mainly grown in West Bengal, Bihar, Assam and Odisha, where there is availability of water, where there is no problem of water. Now I will explain about technological and institutional reforms. Technological and institutional reforms. As you know, agriculture is the main economic activity of Indians. Near about 60% people are engaged in agriculture. But without techno-institutional changes, the pace of agricultural development was hindered. In spite of development of sources of irrigation, most of the farmers in large parts of the country still depend upon monsoon. So to have increase in the fertility of the soil, in the growth of crops for good production, the government introduced many technological and institutional reforms. Thus, collectivization, consolidation of holdings. Collectivization, consolidation of holdings, cooperation and abolition of jamidari were given priority to bring about institutional reforms in country after independence. Yes, due to right of inheritance, the size of land holding is decreasing. Suppose any farmer has 40 acres and 4 sons. Due to right of inheritance, each son will get 10 acre. If those 4 sons have 2 sons, so they will get only 5 acre. Due to the right of inheritance, the size of land holding is decreasing because there are small plots of land. So modern methods couldn't be practiced on small plots. To solve this problem, the government introduced consolidation of holding. Consolidation of holding means to bring together different pieces of land and merge them into one land. What is consolidation of holdings? Consolidation of land holding means to bring together different pieces of lands and merge them into one land. That is known as consolidation. Suppose any farmer has land at different places. Suppose this is any area. If any farmer has small plot of land here, 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 it is difficult for that farmer to till that area. But if that farmer has land at the same place, it's easy for him to cultivate this large land. So consolidation of holding means to bring together different pieces of land and merge them into one land. Due to the scattered farmlands, there is wastage of time, money and material. from moving one place to another place. So to solve this problem, the government introduced consolidation of land holding and abolition of jamidari. Before independence of India, jamidari system was prevalent. Jamidars were the owner of large villages and common people had no land. But after independence, the government abolished jamidari system. The large villages were taken from the jamidars and they were redistributed to the common people. Land reform was the main focus of our first 5-year plans. In India, the first 5-year plan was introduced in 1951, and in that plan, the core issue was agriculture. To make improvement in agriculture, land reforms were introduced. The government of India embarked upon introducing agriculture reforms to improve Indian agriculture in 1960s and 70s. During 1960s and 70s, Green Revolution was introduced. Green Revolution means increase in the production of food grains by using HYV seeds, fertilizers, pesticides, and modern techniques. During 1960s and 1970s, the Green Revolution was introduced, but Green Revolution was limited only to particular areas, especially in the northwestern states of India, in Punjab, Haryana, UP. That's why in 1980s and 1990s, a comprehensive land development program was initiated. Because Green Revolution was limited to particular states where farmers were the owner of large land, where there's no problem of water, where farmers were rich, they could afford modern technology, expensive machines. So Green Revolution was successful only in those areas. But the government wanted development in agriculture in all parts of the country. That's why in 1980s and 1990s, a comprehensive land development program was initiated. Under it, provision for crop insurance against drought. According to these reforms, the government decided crop insurance for the farmers. Crop insurance means if crop of any farmer is destroyed by drought, flood, cyclone, fire, disease, then that person get insurance from the government. Even today, you know that in some places, if crops are failed due to some natural calamities, the government provide financial help to the farmers. Next, establishment of Grameen banks, cooperative societies, and banks for providing loan facilities to the farmers at low rates of interest. Yes, special banks have been set up for the farmers. Cooperative societies have been set up from where farmers can get their agricultural inputs at less rate in comparison of market. And all this has been done so that the farmers can use them to improve their economic condition. Except these, Kisan Credit Card, personal accident insurance schemes are some other schemes introduced by the government of India for the benefits of farmers. The government also introduced minimum support price. What is minimum support price? The price of the food grains or the crops before the sowing season is announced by the government so that the farmers can get incentive that which type of crop they should grow. The price of crops are introduced by the government before the growing season so that the farmers can get idea that in which type of crop they can get benefit. That is known as minimum support price. Students, today you learned about non-food crops, geographical conditions required for non-food crops, rubber, cotton, jute, and technological and institutional reforms. Hopefully you understood. Thank you.